What up, guys? Just waiting for my friend. I just want to film a quick video real quick. I hope it's not too loud. But in this topic, I want to talk about why do modern women not submit to a man anymore, right? And, basically, what do you look for in a woman? And, to know if she's good wife material or not, right? And if you really think about it, the answer is actually pretty simple, right? You just ask yourself, is this woman trying to build up her own world and then reject men out of it, and block men out of her world in order to build her ego? Or is she looking to join a man's world, a particular man's world that she feels safe enough to exist in, right? So I guess that's a lot, but I'll try to break it down, right? So let's say you have a woman, who's trying to build all this social media presence and receiving attention and DMs, and she's showing a lot of skin. She's essentially trying to build up her own influence, right? See, this is what these influencers are. When they say they're influencers, I just call them squat rack influencers. I coined that term because that's basically what they do. They just hit the gym and take a video of them squatting and showing their butt, and then they try to teach us how to make some avocado toast or something like that, and try to act like they're an influencer or whatever. But anyways, all jokes aside, these women who try to build up this social media presence or even popularity based off their looks or anything like that, what they're doing is they're trying to build up their own world, right? And then what they're gonna do is they're gonna pump up their ego by making it so that no men can get into their world, right? But that is wrong, right? A woman is supposed to build character and then find a man who she feels safe enough to exist in his world, right? Because that's how it's supposed to be, right? I mean, in the Garden of Eden, right? Man was created first, right? Man was placed in the garden, and it was his garden to tend to, and then God made him a helper, right? So, and it's not even that you need to be religious to understand this. You can understand it on an intuitive level. These women that build up this social media following and stuff like that, you can tell on an intuitive level something's wrong. Society doesn't end up well. Like, look at the boyfriends that those girls get. It's always like vanity, you know what I'm saying? It's always just some guy who also hits the gym and is just, it's vanity, right? Or God forbid it's a really good guy that gets with her and thinks that she's good. But if you look at women's world, when they build up their world, or whatever you want to call it, it's always structureless, right? There's nothing of character of the modern women's world. It's literally just boobs, butt, smiling in the camera, looking cute, and look at my followers count. There's really nothing of character in the world that they build, right? Modern women, many of them. So it's really simple. If you want to ask yourself, okay, should I marry this woman? Ask yourself, what type of, is she building up a world around her looks, and she's using that as leverage to keep people out of her life, to act like she's this exclusive miniature celebrity? If she does things like that, that's just one way. She's not gonna submit, right? She's not gonna submit to you. She doesn't want to be led by you. It's really just that simple. And we don't see a lot of these modern women, who are like, looking to submit, but you will see it. If you look hard enough, you will see it. You will see women who are just Christian and quiet, and they just, it's not that their confidence is low, but they just don't want to be loud. They don't want to have a loud presence. They don't need it, right? And the other reason, obviously, why women won't submit is because many fathers don't teach them structure, right? Like their fathers are just kind of their friend or something along those lines, right? And what happens is that when you try to bring structure into the woman's life, now you're seen as the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? When it should be the other way around. It should have been that the father is the really strict one and she accuses him of being the rigid one, and we can just come and be half as rigid as her father and still be seen as a good person, right? But nah, if the woman didn't receive good instruction from her father, hey, don't go out showing all that skin, we're gonna be seen as the bad guy, right? And not only are you gonna be seen as the bad guy when you bring these things up, but you shouldn't have to, right? You shouldn't have to bring these things up. You shouldn't have to say, hey, what's up with this whole social media thing, like having this giant presence, what's up with that? You shouldn't have to say that, and now you look like the bad guy because you're bringing structure into the relationship, and it's going to kill her attraction because her emotions are going to be stunted because you're overcoming her emotions with structure, which is what a man is supposed to do, right? But they're not going to understand that. So a lot of the reason why to bring it back to the starting of the video, why many men just don't have a girlfriend, it's not because you're not attractive. A lot of the time it's because women built up their own world and use that as a justification to block men out, right? Because their world doesn't even really consist of structure, like of being led, of things like that, so they don't even see us as useful, right? And many of them are just indifferent to dating because they don't understand the purpose of a man. So it's not even that you're not attractive, it's that they've literally built a delusion that society can function only with women here. That's their delusion, right? So it's not always even your fault. Like, build up your attraction, but it's not always your fault. Okay, all right, have a good day, y'all. Peace.